Welcome, councillors. I'll open the meeting at 3:07. We have no apologies, no leave of absence. As mentioned, councillors are encouraged to hand any declarations of interest to Mr. Ferg prior or any queries. But do we have any, Mr. Ferg?
I have done at the moment.
No. Do we have any? I'm going to run through some declarations of interest. Do we have any financial declarations of interest? No. Do we have closely associated persons and impartiality?
I have an impartiality.
You do?
Conflict of interest. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Guthrie. Got the paperwork there. Thank you. Do we have any proximity interest declarations? No. Item 4, response to public questions. Taken on notice, there are none. No public questions. Item 6, petitions, deputations, presentations, submissions. There are none. Item 7, applications for leave of absence for our next meeting in April. Are there any? No. Item 8, I have no big announcements apart from saying thank you very much for your tireless work this month. Councillors, thank you all, and staff as well. Item 9, confirmation of minutes. The annual general meeting of the electors held on Thursday the 20th of February 2025. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Crooks, and thank you, Councillor Foss. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. The ordinary meeting of council held on Thursday the 20th of February 2025. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Mover, thank you, Councillor Hodgkins. Seconder. Thanks, Councillor Foss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. The local emergency management committee meeting held on Thursday the 6th of February. Do I have someone that was there like to move it? Thank you, Councillor Crooks. Seconder. Thanks, Councillor Hodgkins. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. And our Bushfire Advisory Committee meeting held on Wednesday the 5th of March 2025. Do I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Hodgkins. Seconder. Thank you, Councillor Strange. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 10. Matters for decision. 10.1. There's no manager of works and services. 10.2. Manager of finance. Mr. Furr, standing for Mr. Darby, who's away on study leave. 10.2.1, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. Schedule of accounts paid February 2025. Presented to council every month. I'll take the report as read. It's quite straightforward. The request and officer's recommendation is that council is asked to note the report as presented. A total of $668,964.54 spent in the month of February, and happy to take any questions or queries from councillors regarding the list of accounts paid for that month.
Any questions on any items paid?
I have one
Thanks,
question. Mr. Furr, the 24171 LGIS, which I know you're all over, the adjustment in, is that an adjustment in premium, is that it? The local government special risks adjustment. 12,500.
Through the chair, thank you for your question, councillor, and I did actually preempt that would be a query. We, as a Shire, we submit a significant questionnaire well in advance of the actual financial year. So around about last March 2023, we would have submitted a questionnaire from which our premiums for the following year are determined, and then subsequently, subject to various undertakings, changes, etc., there is an adjustment. And this is, you're quite right, this is an adjustment to our premiums of $12,599.95 based on the circumstances throughout the year. An adjustment has been made. Quite right, councillor.
Answers your question.
And there was one other question, and that was on the arborist, the $10,000 almost I'm assuming that they did other work, 24209, street tree removal, hoping that's just, it's meant to be trees. Is it just that one tree down near the service station?
Through the chair, I'm just looking for
This is the
what's
number.
the what's the serial number on the left hand side? So I can just-
The EFT?
yeah, no, the actual serial
85.
number.
85.
85. Councillor, I will make an assumption that it is, but to be appropriate, I will take that on notice. I do. The reason for my assumption is that the only tree that I've seen being worked on is that single one. However, I will point out that an EFT is a collection of invoices,
That's right.
and it may well be that more than one engagement with that particular tree has been undertaken. But I will still take that question on notice and will email council a response regards to that.
And just a comment really there, that the tree shooting now, I thought it was going to be removed. So I would have thought it was going to be the stump as well. Yes, that's the assumption I made.
Through the chair, if council wishes me to engage Manager of Works and Services to reflect that the expectation that that tree is completely removed, I will pass that on and ensure that occurs. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Firth. Thanks, Councillor Strange. Councillor Crooks.
Yeah, item 50, hang on, just got to find it again. Party Kids Remember, $1,610. That, I would presume, was for the party at the Sundown. Seems a wee bit excessive.
Through the chair, councillor, thank you for your question. I will follow up as part. I'm sending one email. I'm more than happy to put more than one item in that email. The Party Kids Remember. It is, again, it's an EFT, so I would need to look into the invoices themselves, because I know that we had more than one children's entertainment service. So what I will do is I will email you as part of the response to council regarding the previous tree item. We'll expand that to explain the $1,600 for that. We had a children's farm, face painting, and I think or balloons and all sorts of other bits and pieces. So I certainly will follow up on that.
Okay.
And down the track, our intention will be to obviously, rather than it just be EFT reporting, the next step, once staffing levels and capacity enables, is to actually expand this accounts paid to include the individual invoices, so that perhaps some of the queries are answered.
No further questions? Do I have a move and a seconder? The accounts paid. Thanks, Councillor Hoops, and thank you, Councillor Strange. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 10.3. I think Mr. Furr's speaking for Regulatory Services. 10.3.1.
Mr. President, thank you. Development application, proposed hockey club rooms pavilion. Councillors may remember that in an ordinary council meeting in June 2022, council resolved to award the development application to the hockey club for these pavilions. The length of time associated with this particular application was 2 years, and that has subsequently has expired. There has been a lot of engagement in recent months with the hockey club with regards to the completion of this particular building, and as a consequence, the applicant's Office of Regional Architect, on behalf of the hockey club, have resubmitted exactly the same development application. They're just, and it has been requested a 3-year time frame. As a side note, I'm sure council is interested in where we are with regards to this building. It's been going on for a couple of years now, and the actual kit, the building kit, is actually ready to be constructed. It's sitting waiting to go. So subject to approval, we'll see this the completion of this works really quite swiftly, and will be able to move on to the next step to get the necessary building permits and approvals to actually then complete construction. But this is merely replicating the submission because of expiry. It's asking for 3 years. Council should note that at the time, Council resolved to waiver the planning development application fee, and the item that has been written by our consultant planner reflects that Council consider the same consideration as per the first application. Happy to take any questions from Council.
Any questions, comments? Councillor Hood?
I thought from when it was done previously that it wasn't including toilets and all that kind of stuff. Have I got misinterpreted that? I thought that what we had decided they were doing was just the platform with some
Seats.
covering. And these plans have got toilets, change rooms, everything in it. Have I misunderstood that?
Through the chair, perhaps I can just, if I give you some context of conversations that I've had with Mr. Chapman and Boogie since, is that the application is for the pavilions, and ultimately that 5 years, the development application gives us then permission to actually progress to ultimately establish a pavilion. The subsequent conversations that we've had suggest that this would be done perhaps in stages, and in the first instance there is a keen interest to get the structure built, and that there would and then it may well be almost like a lean-to shed spectator area. They then still have time, which still requires building application, but it was certainly conveyed to me that subject to various regulations, requirements, costs, etc., that it would be done in a stage.
Councillor Foss?
Yeah, that is correct from my recollection of it too, because the reason being is if they put down a concrete pad or anything like that for the building, you've got to have the pre-lay under there. So it was a full development application. It may never happen, but if it does get to that stage, those pre-lays are already there, that it can progress at some point. Otherwise, it's very difficult to go back the other way. So
No further questions or comments?
Probably just one question in that, and thanks for the clarification, Councillor Foss. In the plans, in this recommendation that we move, in the plans it has got toilet there. So we just, might be being a bit pedantic, we're not passing that we're putting a toilet in at this point. That's probably where you're coming from.
Yeah, I feel like we're passing a whole new small rec centre here. And I thought there had been discussions that it wasn't quite going to be like that.
Through the chair, I'm unfortunately I'm not privy to historical conversations. I certainly can reflect the conversations I've had recently, and I think even at this stage, whilst there is a comprehensive application process with drawings, it is the commencement of the process which subsequently still requires it to go to building applications, etc. So council is not actually signing off on a new recreation centre. There is still processes to be followed. And the context of conversation that I've had with the two individuals that represent the hockey club is that initially their intention is not, it's a lean-to, it's a place, it's about here, we've got something here, we've got it built, and then subject to circumstances down the track may well lead to further conversations with council. There's still quite a process to get from a governance and compliance perspective to follow, and this is all this is about is enabling recommencing what is an expired application, but there are still milestones that need to be achieved whereby council can interject and approve or not approve accordingly.
To me, looking at this plan, so going back, and they did present one that was like a little rec centre that has different function rooms. That this is totally different kind of setup. This one, and I can understand they've done it so if they expand to build that one day, but so that's a long way away. So, and they were always putting the plumbing in, so that obviously at some stage we're assuming toilets were there while we put plumbing in. So, any other further queries, questions? So we do have a recommendation. It's quite long, but just summary. The main points is item 1 is that we will have final say in the colour scheme, or it has to come to us. Item 2 is that it will be commenced within 3 years. Item 3 is that it will be connected to the sewage system. Item 4 it will have appropriate drainage, and there's some notes that it has to follow development applications, blah blah blah. So if someone is happy to move that motion, or Councillor Strange? Seconder, Councillor Foss. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. A little bit here too. I think up to 10.4, Manager of Governance.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council is required to review its delegations register at least once every financial year, and the last time this was done was back in March 2023. So that means that we missed one review for the 2023-24 financial year. This was due to resource constraints. With the Shire engaged in a new governance and grants officer, we've been able to undertake this review. It's quite a lengthy document and quite time consuming to do this task, but we've gotten there. We have provided a summary of the main changes recommended to the document, and largely the changes that we've made relate to the requirement to reflect changes to the Local Government Act, and also we have tried to align the delegations register that we're presenting to Council with WALGA's recommendations, which Shire Administration consider to be best practice. Just for ease of use, we have also added a table with a summary of the recommendations at the front of the document, as well as an outline of the legislation associated with the delegations register. In general, that's the changes that we are proposing. I don't know if councillors would like to go through the document or have any specific questions about any changes.
Taking this read, was there any queries or questions from councillors? Register? No, if not, is someone happy to move that we adopt the Shire Bushot Record Keeping Plan 2024? Thank you, Councillor Waite, and thank you, Councillor Hodgkiss. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. I think I read out the record keeping plan, didn't I? That
Sorry.
was delegation.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
thank you.
Just-
I've
Yeah.
gone ahead.
Yeah.
So anyway, I must have preempted to 10.4.2, the record keeping plan. Take it away.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council is required to review its record-keeping plan every 5 years, and the last review was undertaken in 2019, again due to resource constraints. The current review has been undertaken in consultation with the State Records Office, which has been very helpful. And the main changes relate to the need to reflect the fact that we have a new record system, ALTUS, and new processes. And also, we've updated the retention and disposal authority, and we have reviewed the policies that form part of the record keeping plan. As advised in the report, these policies are presented as draft, as we are in the process of undertaking a full review of the Council's policy manual. The State Records Office has been advised of this, and they're comfortable with them recommending approval of the record keeping plan, so long as they are notified that if there are any substantial changes to the policies, they are advised of this. assets.
Right, councillors, do we have any questions or comments about the record keeping plan 2024? No? If not, would someone like to move that we adopt the Bushrock record keeping plan 2024 as presented? Thank you, Councillor Waite. Thank you, Councillor Fahoot. All those in favour? I mean, Councillor Strange, sorry. Got the same hand there. I think we're up to 10.5.1. Very long document there. Just to
Miles
finish.
now.
Through the chair, apologise for the number of attachments that are there.
10.5.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senior Employee Recruitment, Manager of Finance. Councillors, this is a retrospective submission to Council in order for us to meet compliance requirements in accordance with Section 5.37 of the Local Government Act. This is associated with the recruitment process of a senior employee into the administration, and whereby the process, the guidelines were met in the sense that statewide recruitment, the whole process to recruit was undertaken accordingly. However, the council was notified of Mr. Darby's appointment. However, what did not happen was an agenda item coming to council regarding council endorsing that decision, similar to the item that you had for another senior employee appointed recently. So therefore, this is we identified this within the compliance audit return, and this is why the retrospective item has been submitted to meet the compliance requirements for that. I am happy to take any questions, but the officer's recommendation, we're asking council to endorse the offer to the preferred candidate, noting that it is a retrospective application. Council were notified of the appointment, and hence we are providing this item and recommendation.
Any questions or comments? Pretty straightforward. If not, would someone like to move, endorse? Thank you, Councillor Foss. Any seconders? Thank you, Councillor Fahoot. All those in favour that we endorse the Chief Executive Officer's recommendation to make an offer? It's unanimous, thank you. 10.5.2, transfer of Crown Reserve 35044.
Mr. President, thank you. Transfer of Crown Reserve 35044. Councillors, you may recall at the last information session, we discussed a letter that was sent to us in around about April time last year regarding Reserve 3500044, which was Water Corporation had the management order for this particular reserve, and it contained a large drinking storage tank for drinking water, and had done so for the past 48 years. The letter of offer was to determine Council's interest in there being a revesting of this reserve and subsequent transfer of management order. In discussed with the information session, you directed me, the CEO, to prepare an agenda item to respond to this, because the requirement is that in order to respond to Water Corporation, I need to provide a council resolution if the council determines that they wish to proceed with this revesting. I wish to reiterate to council, which is represented in the item, that there is no costs associated with this transfer, and we would seek confirmation from Water Corporation regarding this prior to any transfer. However, I do wish to make council aware that there may be some small settlement costs associated with this transfer, which would be at our cost. I am happy to take questions from any councillor and the recommendation is that council accepts the offer and subsequently instructs me to respond to Water Corporation. Hence, the resolution would be part of the response.
Any questions or comments, councillors? No, otherwise we have a recommendation that we accept the offer. I'd like to move that. Thanks, Councillor Crooks. Thank you, Councillor Strange. All those in favour? Thank you, it's unanimous. Item 10.5.3. Get to it. Acceptance of the compliance audit. Okay, Mr. Ferd.
Mr. President, thank you. Annual Compliance Audit Return 2024. Councillors, on an annual basis, we are required to submit a compliance audit return for the calendar, for each calendar year, this being 2024. This report is lodged through a portal to DLGSC. It is comprises of a questionnaire that contains 94 questions, 12 of which are optional, and I wish to inform Council that the administration answered all questions, all 94. Any identification of non-compliances have been dealt with in accordance with legislation and in the appropriate manner reported to DLGSC. And this item was today presented to the Audit and Risk Committee, from which the outcome of that was the Audit and Risk Committee make recommendation to Council to accept the compliance audit return as is, which subject to endorsement by Council will be signed by the Shire President and the CEO prior to lodging into the portal. Happy to take any questions and reminding Council that the recommendation is for Council accepting the Audit and Risk Committee's recommendation.
Any questions or comments, Councillor? So what the other main comment Mr. Fur mentioned, I'm not sure if he mentioned just then, was there were some multiple, I think it was 20 no's, but some of those were multiples of the same item. So even though it might be 20, a lot of it was to do with one item itself.
Through the Chair, there was some no's within the audit report, but I do wish to convey to Council that a number of those questions are associated with one item, so there isn't. So there was a close association.
There was no further questions. We have a recommendation that we accept the committee's recommendation. We accept the committee's recommendation of the Audit and Risk Committee. So, would someone like to move that we accept the compliance audit? Thank you, Councillor Waite. Your seconder. Thanks, Councillor Crooks. All those in favour? Thank you. It's unanimous. Item 11, there's no new business of urgent nature, no confidential items. I'd also like to close the meeting. Thank you all for your attendance at 3:34. I feel like I heard that 3 times, Mark.